Toning is not a type of workout. You can't tone a muscle that doesn't exist. So, what most women really want when they say they want to tone up is to build muscle and to lower their body fat enough to reveal it. And that's it. That's the entire formula for tone. So, it's not endless cardio, it's not lighter weights and higher reps, it's not doing the same boot camp workouts over and over again and hoping that your body suddenly tightens. The word tone has been hijacked by the fitness industry because it sells. I use it in most of my videos here. You know, it sounds soft and feminine and non-intimidating, the opposite of bulky, even though the science of tone is pretty simple. Tone is muscle plus low enough body fat to see it. So if you've spent years dieting, doing endless cardio, or chasing the fat burning workouts, things targeted towards women, then you've likely been losing both fat and muscle, which makes it nearly impossible to achieve that sculpted look that you want. Because when your muscle mass drops, your metabolism slows down, the shape fades. So what's left behind isn't tone. It's just a smaller version of whatever you were before. So you can't tone a muscle that isn't there. So if your current plan is all about eating less, cutting carbs, and doing more cardio, you're actually losing muscle. You're shrinking the muscle tissue that will give your body the shape that you want. So yes, you may lose weight on the scale, but you'll never get that tight look without the foundation of muscle underneath it. So this is the reason why I'm always reiterating in the videos, even when we're talking about metabolism, that if you're chasing tone and you're eating like a dieter, you're not only killing your metabolism, but you're also killing your muscles instead of shaping them and toning them. So after 40, if you want to get tone, you have to remember that like you're losing muscle every year, and the hormonal shifts that you're going through are making that even harder. So that's why getting toned gets harder unless you train and fuel differently than you did in your 20s and 30s. So when you're in your 40s, here's what works instead. Build first, reveal later. Start with strength training that challenge you enough to build new muscle and making sure that you're working out in a way that builds muscle because you want to be able to see it later. That also means eating enough to support the way that you're working out. That means getting out of the chronic calorie deficit and making sure that you're eating enough calories first and foremost and enough protein secondly. So that gram-ish per pound of body weight, because you can't build something that your body is not properly fueled for. So the third piece of that is cardio. We can't keep treating cardio like it's a shortcut. Cardio is great for health, not for sculpting. So if your main goal is tone, then prioritizing lifting heavy over logging the miles is going to be very important. And then you have to realize that it takes time. Muscle building takes time. But once you have it, it makes the rest, the cuts, all of the fat loss that you're going to go through later so much easier. So tone is never going to be found in a workout. It's like a season. So the toning workouts, the boot camps, the classes, the HIIT, the sculpting sessions, all of that stuff sounds really productive, but most of them are just literally just cleverly disguised cardio. And tone muscle is built through seasons of muscle building, a building phase, eating and training for muscle, eating in a surplus, lifting heavy enough to utilize that surplus properly, and then moving into a revealing phase, the cut, the dropping the body fat so that you can see the muscle. When you do that, when you go through the seasons, that is when you change your shape, not just your size. That is when you start seeing the definition or the tightness that you're looking for instead of just constantly becoming a smaller version of whatever you already were, which I'm sure was fine in the first place. But the bottom line is to always remember that you don't tone muscle, you build it and you reveal it. So this is something that I break down inside of the How to Look Like You Lift course. So definitely check that out for the full breakdown of this formula. But in a nutshell, whenever you're thinking, I just want to tone up, remember that that goal starts in the gym with the progressive overload, and then it continues in the kitchen with eating all the things. So you want to eat enough food to fuel it, because tone is never going to be about eating less or finding the perfect workout routine, especially if that means working out more and doing more cardio. It's about getting smarter about what you're doing, fueling smarter, training smarter, and making sure that you're focusing on more on the building muscle side than on the weight loss and cutting side. So the more muscle you build, the more that will be there when you move into your fat loss phases. So I just want to clear that up. I know that I'm still going to use tone in a lot of my videos just because that is what women search for, and that is something that they relate to. But I want to make sure that this is out there so that we all know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about tone. I'm talking about actually having a muscular base and then a low enough body fat percentage to reveal it. So make sure you check out the rest of the videos in this series. I'll link to them below, and I will see you in the next one.